Good morning from Mesa, Arizona. You are looking now at Championship Court, and this is the end of the warm-up for our men's and women's singles pro event, as well as the senior pro event. Singles is a really exciting aspect of pickleball that we don't always get to see a lot of, so you're really in for a treat today as we look at the singles competition. Behind me, you see Tyson McGuffin. He's getting ready to take on Kohler in this first round match. I'm your host, Mark Renison, and I'm going to be bringing you this live coverage all day long. So let's take a quick break, and then we're going to get ready for this first serve here at the PPA Grand Slam Qualifier from Mesa, Arizona. All right, not bad. Stumbled on. Welcome back, Championship Court. Tyson McGuffin getting ready to serve here to Kohler in this opening game here of this best 2 out of 3 match, and that is a pattern that we are going to see a lot from Mr. McGuffin, where he hits that serve pretty hard, keeping Kohler back if possible, or at least challenging his timing. And watch as McGuffin runs around his backhand to use his forehand whenever possible. Kohler, of course, is going to try to prevent Tyson McGuffin from doing what he wants, and so you're going to see him aim that return to the backhand side. Score is 0-1. I'll get a scoreboard up for you in a minute. In the meantime, I'll let you know what the score is. Don't fret, as we see a nice drop volley from McGuffin. Thank you for joining us this morning. 1-0 is the score. McGuffin serving, and that ball goes into the net. It's one of the risks of the aggressive serve that we see McGuffin using, is that sometimes that ball will go too low, perhaps even a little too high, and then goes out. 0-1 is the score. Tyson McGuffin versus Kohler. That's a nice cross-court pass from Mr. Kohler. If you're new to singles, you can expect to see more frequent side outs than we typically see in doubles. That's because the player returning serve will still try to come to the net, just like they do in doubles, as a way to apply pressure on their opponents, take away their time to react, maybe even find a high ball while they're up there. The trouble is for them is that they've got to cover the entire court by themselves, unlike in doubles where you only really are responsible for about half of the court. And so McGuffin's going to have to make sure that he hits a high quality return, and that ball goes just long. Kohler serving at 3-1 here. There we go, and we see a little bit of cat and mouse action here early on. What I mean by that is you're going to see sometimes where the serving player, instead of hitting a third shot passing shot, if they feel like they're not in a great position to do it, it's 1-3, then what they're going to do is they're going to play a drop. There we go, the nice passing shot by McGuffin. He had that one lined up. And so if they feel like they're in a position where they can't hit that good drive as a passing shot, they will often play a drop like we sometimes see in doubles. And what they're going to do is they're going to try to battle it out up near the net. That ball is just wide. lob that lands inside the baseline. McGuffin on the defense here. AJ Kohler making him work early in this first round, and he had an opportunity there with that high forehand. Two threes the score. McGuffin complimenting AJ Kohler on the quality of that offensive lobby hit. And that is a high quality serve from McGuffin that finds the net. 3-3. Three threes the score, and with that passing shot and the volley that finds the net, that's going to be 4-3. Tyson McGuffin surging ahead here. Nice down-the-line passing shot. You saw McGuffin use that cross-court drop in order to set up that down-the-line opportunity. Nicely executed. 5-3. McGuffin finding his rhythm. McGuffin, good job reaching for that ball, playing the angles. He's so quick out there on the court. That really is his strength that he's going to rely on, is his speed around the court. If you're just joining us, I'm Mark Renison, and we are watching opening round match here at the PPA Grand Slam Qualifier here in Mesa, Arizona. That's going to be a great drop volley from Mr. Koller. If you are watching, first thing I'd like you to do is hit that share button so other people can see it as well on this beautiful Sunday morning. It's 8 o'clock local time. 8:13, I should say. So hit that share button so other people can enjoy this great action as well. As we see McGuffin, that patented lasso-style forehand, getting a lot of topspin. And after hitting that share button, which is the first thing you're going to do, the second thing you're going to do, I hope, send me a quick note. Say hello to me, just like Lynn Coe did. Good morning. Port Charlotte, Florida's watching. Glad you're there. Sarah McKinnis, I'm glad you're here. Hit that share button, Sarah. Lee Waters is watching, and she definitely knows a thing or two about pickleball and the importance of using that drive as a mechanism for causing trouble for your opponents. As we see McGuffin serve so tough, AJ Kohler not even able to get to the net. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Kira Gusto is asking about this. Going to be live streamed on. It's going to be 8-3 here. We're going to take a quick break for a moment. This hydration break brought to you by Jigsaw Health. It's fun to feel good. We're going to be back with more in a second.
The day before I start match day in pickleball, I make sure I have all my electrolytes. I would use the normal sports drinks that I grew up using. I started taking Jigsaw electrolytes. It's been beneficial and helped my game improve a lot. I know that throughout the day, I'm going to be fine for those 12 to 14 hours if it takes that long. My body's going to hold up. So that was great, not having to worry about one more thing besides just playing pickleball.
We are back live, 8-3, McGuffin serving. He's built a strong lead here after being down a little bit earlier. Once again, we see AJ Kohler not able to get to the net. We'll talk about that after this rally. I mentioned earlier in singles play, just like in doubles, the returners typically want to come to the net and come forward. But again, because they have to patrol the whole court by themselves, if they feel like they hit a return of serve that's not of adequate quality, they realize it's going to be too easy to pass them at the net, and they'll sometimes stay back. That, however, is definitely not what you want to do, because by staying back, you put zero pressure on your opponents. You allow them to come forward easily. So you're going to see McGuffin here trying to serve in such a way that, and you can see the pressure that Kohler was under there, that McGuffin's going to serve hard enough that he thinks that Kohler's going to either struggle to come in or hit a poor quality return that allows McGuffin to hit a pass. And that was a great return, forcing McGuffin back. Here's what we call the cat and mouse, and there we go. Nicely done. Kohler using that long reach. Say good morning to Maureen Cauduro. Don Lockman telling me to take it easy today. Take it easy every day, Don. Good first pass, and then that sets up the opportunity, but McGuffin guesses right. Good morning, Miak Lee and Ernie Medina Jr., as well as Nicholas Farrell Chu from Malaysia. 9-3, McGuffin serving. There's an around the post opportunity defended by McGuffin. Great singles action here. Nice shot from Kohler. McGuffin had a read on it though, able to get the ball back in play. And that sets up our first game point of the day. 10-3, McGuffin serving. Watch him to be aggressive here. Running around that backhand to set up the forehand. He had it lined up. Just finds the top of the net. With that side out, 3-10, AJ Kohler. Again, he's going to try to serve, hoping to elicit a poor return from McGuffin. But unlikely to see one of those. That's a nice angled backhand, and that's going to go into the open corner. Tyson McGuffin again serving with a game point here. 10-3 here in game number 1. McGuffin defending with a drop. Not much defense you can do when the ball clips over the net like that. And AJ Kohler knows he got lucky. Puts up his hand. A gentleman's apology. And with that side out, 3-10. Kohler trying to fight his way back here. That serve's going to go long. And again, it's not because Kohler can't put the ball in the court. It's because he knows how aggressive he needs to be with that serve to keep Mr. McGuffin back from the net. Another game point for Tyson. That's a tough and forces Kohler to stay back. Invites McGuffin to the net, and he's going to control the point and take game number 1. Tyson McGuffin over AJ Kohler, 11-3. As these players take a quick break, we're going to take a quick break as well, and we're going to be back here for game number 2, PPA Grand Slam Qualifier in Mesa, Arizona. Welcome back to Championship Court here in Mesa, Arizona. If you're just joining us, you are watching men's pro singles pickleball action here. This is the opening round here on the final day of competition. You're watching Tyson McGuffin battle AJ Kohler. Tyson McGuffin won game number 1. I'm your host, Mark Renison, and if you are just joining us, I would really love you to do 2 things. Thing number 1 is please hit that share button so other people can enjoy this live action from Mesa. Okay, now that you've done that. Thing number 2 is give me a quick hello. Tell me where you're watching from, what the pickleball scene is like where you are, whether you've played any pickleball already on this Sunday morning. It's 8:21 local time. Once again, the McGuffin serve able to keep AJ Kohler back, but he looks to counterattack. Does a good job of making his way up there. That's going to be the hard way to win the points. Sometimes you got to do it the hard way, right? .0-0 is the score. Speaking of 0-0, looking at One of the other top players who's going to contend for this title, Tyler Loon, he won his match already, 11-0, 11-0. Bit of an upset victory. J.W. Johnson defeated Joey Farias, 11-5, 11-1. Gotta say, that's a bit of a surprise. Colin Johns, he won his opening match. Frank Anthony Davis as well, a top 5 singles player. He defeated Tyler Ausmus 11-1, 11-0 in this opening round. Tyson McGuffin. Score is 0-1, McGuffin serving. I'll post the draw here in the comments section of this thread. Great defense from Kohler. Let's see if McGuffin can get out of a jam. Doesn't need to. That ball goes long. Good morning to Deborah Duckworth from South Carolina. Robin Barr-Trexler from North Carolina. Ernie's in Loma Linda, California. I've been out there doing some clinics in the past. Ernie's asking the best question, someone who passes well. Drop shots? Not really, Ernie. Typically the thing you want to do is you want to put them in a position where they can't hit that pass as well. And one of the important differences between singles and doubles pickleball, which we'll talk after this point, McGuffin making Kohler work here. I'd expect a timeout after this point, just for fatigue alone. So one of the important differences, Ernie, is in doubles, it's very important to return the serve deep, put your opponents in position where they can't do much damage. In singles, however, it's more important that you make your opponent stretch. Even if the return isn't that deep. You see right here, Kohler try to keep the ball away from McGuffin so he has to stretch, because if players are on the stretch, it's much harder for them to hit a good pass. So the depth becomes less of a factor on the return of serve in doubles, and it's more about making your opponent move. If you simply play a drop shot, Ernie, these players are going to get to it so quickly. Here we go. McGuffin's return not good enough. Kohler able to play a good pass and control the point, but McGuffin, as he's so good at doing, able to get himself out of trouble. All right, say good morning to Jason Hendricks from Menifee, California. Gary Allen from Mentone, Alabama. Mike Paulson in Tucson. Lee Waters joining the feed. We're going to stay here for this quick break. We're going to say hi to a few more people and talk a few more things. Lee Waters is saying J.W. Johnson is one of our practice partners. I'm guessing when she says our, she means herself as well as daughter Anna Lee Waters. Home in Florida. He's definitely one to watch, a 17-year-old and great player. So that was that upset match we talked about. J.W. Johnson taking down Joey Farias in this first round match. They just called that match, Lee. J.W. Johnson now heading out onto the court against Colin Johns. Kirk Jensen, hi to you from Alberta. Fred Hartzman, part of the team that puts on the Nationals event at Indian Wells, California. Say good morning to you. Yeah, so Ernie, I play in the 55 plus, he says, so not as quick. That's right. So, yeah, how the same principle applies, Ernie. In singles, you would still want to make your opponents move and stretch when they're hitting that ball. How far away you need to hit it from them might not be quite as extreme as if you're playing here with the pros. And so the same principle applies, even though the degree of quality that you have to use might be a little bit different. Say good morning to Sue Blackburn, who's joining us. All right, and that timeout's over. 4-1, Tyson McGuffin looking to build on this lead here in game number 2 after taking game number 1. That serve lands just a little bit deep. Once again, McGuffin trying to be aggressive, make it hard for Kohler's going to try to get out of a jam here. That's a nice drop. That'll go a long way to doing it. And in fact, he does manage to escape from trouble here. That drop is so important being able to play. We know about it in doubles play. Steve Belmont asking about which matches we're going to show. Believe it or not, Steve Belmonte, I only have so much control over what comes out on here this championship court. And so I can't quite... I'll see if I can find out who's coming up next here for you. But there's all sorts of machinations that go on behind the scenes. Melissa McCurley and the team at pickleballtournaments.com do such a great job of making sure that this tournament is running on time and on schedule. And that's also one of the factors that comes into play when determining which matches come out. With that side out, Tyson McGuffin continues serving 4-2. That ball goes long again. The aggressive McGuffin serve paying dividends here. He's always happy to get a freebie. Look, it's going to be a weak return, forces Kohler to stay back. So anyone who tells you, yeah, no problem, Steve Belmonte. That's what the E's for, right? Anyone who tells you that the serve doesn't really matter in pickleball certainly doesn't watch high caliber play. Now that forehand passing shot from McGuffin, that's really the highlight reel shot. But both he and Kohler know it was the serve that set up the weak return that created the opportunity for McGuffin to rip that forehand. 7-2 McGuffin serving, in control here of this match. What a great drop that is. Great serve again from McGuffin, forcing A.J. Kohler to stay back. That gives McGuffin the invitation to come forward. He does, but can't handle that backhand volley. Goes a little bit out. Deborah F. Campbell noticing that every tournament, every pro tournament she goes to, it seems like the level is getting higher and higher. And I would agree with you, Deborah. The quality of player is just getting so tough. There's so many new players coming into. We just learned earlier that Jack Huzek is a former world #1 racquetball player. And when you get someone of that caliber, that sort of athletic ability coming into the sport, you're bound to get higher quality competition. What happens then is all the pros who've been comfortable at the top of the game, they know that they need to keep stepping things up. They can't be static. You know that McGuffin has spent a lot of time on the court and in the gym for exactly that reason. And so it's a really exciting time to be part of pickleball as we watch it continue to grow as a sport. It's a great forehand from McGuffin. Really at that point, A.J. Kohler just needs to guess which way that ball is going to go, and that's tough. We're going to go to a quick break. We're going to be back in a moment. More here from Mesa, Arizona. See if Tyson McGuffin can close it out.
I've tried a lot of other products, plenty of electrolyte mixes. They either contain some sort of sugar in them or something to give you a boost for a little while, but eventually it runs out.
Jigsaw products help me stay competitive. They help me stay energized.
It's helped me become a better player.
Jigsaw helps me recover faster.
I think all of you need Jigsaw help in your life. And you know why?
It's fun to feel good.
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 It's fun to feel good. Cheers.
And we're back live here on Championship Court. 9-2, and with that passing shot, that's going to be 10-2, and that's going to set up match point for Tyson McGuffin. From tip to tail here, I guess at the very start of this match, AJ Kohler knocked off a couple points, but here we have a match point for McGuffin. Another aggressive serve. Kohler still coming in. Does a good job of getting McGuffin moving here. That's a nice angled drop volley for the winner. He's got a tall task ahead of him, though, if he wants to climb back into this match down a game and 2-10. There's another lob, defensive lob, I would say. McGuffin's able to handle it and controls from the net. He's so good. That deceptive shot, McGuffin from that position can roll the ball cross-court. He can hit it with speed. He can even play that drop as he did there. It's very tough to defend. How about that C&D net? That is the official net, C&D Pickleball Nets, as we look at Alette. C&D Pickleball Net, the official net of the PPA. Match point, McGuffin serving. And that ball sails just a little bit long. Tyson McGuffin, I would say no surprise, takes down AJ Kohler. He did put up a little bit of resistance early on and did make McGuffin work for it. McGuffin thanking the referee for her service. We're going to be back with more live men's pro singles action here from day number 4 at the PPA event, the Grand Slam Qualifier in Mesa, Arizona. Grab yourself a morning coffee or some eggs or however you like to start. All right, and we are back taking a look at some of the action from yesterday. Yesterday was Men's Pro and Senior Pro Day, and here you're looking on the near court, Kyle Yates and Joey Farias taking on Colin Johns and Adam Stone. A lot of great action from start to finish today. Adam Stone out of Texas really did a good job of counter-punching. So we see a nice job there with the backhands. Colin Johns, the older brother of number 1 ranked player, Ben Johns. And we see that backhand from Stone. These two put together a nice performance out here, taking home the bronze medal. Got to be happy with their effort here on Men's Pro Day. You see against Tyson McGuffin and Riley Newman. Good job defending there. Adam Stone is such great power on those high balls. He's not a large man, But he's able to generate so much power that he's always a threat. Even though he looks so relaxed at the net, look at how low that paddle sits. We talked to him about that recently on our podcast. Maybe I'll put a link to it in a couple minutes. And we talked to him about that. Look at that paddle position down by his knees. Colin Johns, great job defending here, and this was against McGuffin and Newman. Colin Johns, we take a look at here. Great camera work by our friend Steve Taylor over at Digital Spatula. Look at that pronation of the forehand to be able to create that topspin, getting those balls dipping down low. Of course, it's not just the power game these two use, but so impressive. They will often use the soft ball, the third shot drop, to set up those opportunities, forcing their opponents to hit up. We had Dave Weinbach with us yesterday talking about how that's the key, is forcing your opponents to hit up. If they give the ball a little bit too much juice, that ball is going to sit up high and get put away. So great job from Stone and Johns taking the bronze yesterday. Here we're taking a look at younger brother Ben Johns. Such an easy, relaxed serving motion he's got. You see that side spin. So tough to handle, these players, which is something we talked about yesterday. The spin that players use. His partner, Matt Wright. And real treat watching these guys out here. Look at them both going for that ball. Ben says, "Don't worry, buddy, I got it." And then we see here in a second how Matt Wright kind of returns the favor. So he comes up here to the net there and gets a ball over the middle. There we go, steps out of the way. And nice job of these players, really communicating well. This was the #1 ranked team. Should say I misspoke before when we saw Adam Stone and Colin Johns. They got the silver yesterday. It was Newman and McGuffin that came home with the bronze. Here we see Steve Deacon and Dave Weinbach, the Badger and Beaver out there. Wright and Johns went on to win the tournament without losing a match. They're really a dominant team in 2020. We're really looking forward to seeing these two guys play together. Here we see Newman and McGuffin trying to fight their way up to the net, and the long reach of both these players, as well as the power they can put on the ball, makes it so difficult, even when you feel like you've hit a pretty good drop, to be able to come forward and then look at what they do to you. Great job by Pro Pickleball Media, as well as Steve Taylor. The hardware from our friends at Logitech, really making this crystal clear video and audio. Look at that, McGuffin and Riley Newman working so hard. That's also a new partnership for 2020 that we're looking forward to seeing. And they took home the bronze medal match. As we get ready for this next match, this next singles match coming up here on Championship Court, let's take a look at some of the mixed doubles action. The pro here, we've got Lucy Kovalova and Matt Wright playing a little mixed doubles together. They've been a partnership for a long time, both professional here on the pickleball court, but also personal. Lucy Kovalova, so good both on the soft game and also on that counterattack. Such a threat all the time. Kovalova and Wright, they took home the silver medal and $2,500. Here we see them against Riley and Lindsay Newman. Look at that backhand attack. Well, we've got a great match coming up by singles. We'll tell you about in just a minute after we finish looking at this highlight pack. Matt Wright's so tricky with that forehand. It's really interesting how he keeps that left hand totally away from the paddle. You see there? He's a one-handed player. One-handed player sort of through and through, and you'll see him up there. Lucy Kovalova, on the other hand, defending with that two-handed backhand, but also going on offense. Great footwork from here to set up to get those balls nice and low against Newman. We were lucky enough to have Lucy Kovalova join us here in the broadcast booth a little bit yesterday, as well as taking some stats for us later on. Here we see them against Simone Jardim and Ben Johns. That's a forehand winner from Kovalova. Great job all around from all these players. Such a treat to watch. And just like one of our viewers was saying earlier, it seems like the quality of the competition is increasing from one tournament to the next. And I tend to agree. That's also true here in the mixed doubles. All right, so congratulations on silver to Lucy Kovalova and Matt Wright. Let's look at our gold medalists and their path to the podium. Ben Johns, Simone Jardim. Simone called Ben the Kid. Loves playing with him. It's going to be a great-looking partnership for 2020. A little bit of a new partnership, and that's one of the exciting things to me about this year is we're seeing some players, familiar faces, but in different pairings. It's so tough to get the ball past Ben Johns. He covers so much territory up there at the net. This is against Newman. What a beautiful serve here we see from Simone Jardim. One of the grittiest players on the court. And one of the nicest players off the court as well. See the ladies going to work here on each other, cross courts. Look at that around the post. Lucy Kovalova and Matt Wright, they did their best to push Jardim and Johns. Another around the post defended by Wright. What great defense. Such a treat, both for the fans here. All the fans loved watching this, and the players, you never like to lose, and Simone will be the first to tell you that, but the players love to be able to compete at this kind of caliber with one another. Look at Lucy on that backhand side. Ben Johns just too strong, and that's how the players got to the podium. Congratulations, that was $5,000 in prize. Match, and this is going to be an excellent one, I think. Two of my favorite players to watch. Two of my favorite people also to have here in the broadcast booth with us sometimes. Not right now because they're competing. We have Jennifer Dawson. She's wearing the long sleeve white shirt coming over in the near court. And on the other side, Michelle Esquivel. Two high-powered players as we watch them warm up here. What we'll do is we'll go to a quick break for a moment. We'll pay some bills. We'll say thanks to some of the companies that helped to make this great event possible. And then when we come back, we're going to get going with this great women's pro matchup here on Championship Court at the PPA Grand Slam Qualifier in Mesa, Arizona.
Slightly favored backhand. Much hand-eye coordination.
It's no secret, I lose so many electrolytes when I play. Eventually, I either start cramping or I run out of gas.
Electrolyte Supreme gives me enough energy and hydration. They prevent cramps, and what's really important to me, they help me to recover quicker.
I know I can push myself a little bit more and not have to worry about cramps.
I feel better, I feel good, and it's fun to feel good.
We're feeling great, we're energized, and we're ready to have a great day, right, Lucy?
And it's fun to feel good.
So between Third Shot Sports, the Pickleball Lab, and Pickleball Coaching International, we got you covered. Welcome back to Championship Court. You are looking at Jennifer Dawson getting ready to serve to Michelle Esquivel. In this pro women's singles match here on court number 1, the championship court here at the Mesa Tennis Center. I'm your host, Mark Renison, bringing you this live coverage courtesy of Pro Pickleball Media. And with that serve in the net, that's going to be a side out. 0-1 is the score. Michelle Esquivel serving. Great deeper serve from Michelle Esquivel. Prevents Dawson from coming in. And Esquivel gets to control the point. Good overhead smash from her. 1-1 is the score. Another deep serve. Wow. Michelle Esquivel, she's got a free pass to come forward. And that's going to be a kitchen violation from Esquivel. Can't quite hang on. Tough passing shot from Dawson. Say good morning to a few people watching. Nancy Kaplan, hello to you. Mac Dave, Adele Cloette, fellow Canadian. Jim Kelly, Terry Hartley, Christina Dorman. Sadie C. Riley from New Jersey. Caitlin Renison. Pickleball. Everything I know about pickleball I've learned from my sister. We say hi to Yan David, watching out of Florida. His daughter Vivian, playing today in the singles draw, I believe. Frank Anthony Davis, don't know why he's watching. That guy should be playing pickleball. Frank, I believe, is the number 5 seed. Let us know, Frank, if I got that wrong. Good serve by Jennifer Dawson. That missed return of serve into the net. Score is 5-1. And you're seeing a little bit of a different style of play here. The women are more content to play from the baseline. And for that exact reason that you saw there, Michelle Esquivel, I've talked about this before. This is not my preferred strategy. You know, the women, the bet they make, and I spoke with Michelle, I should post that podcast too. I spoke with Michelle on my podcast about that. But you can see, nice example there. Jennifer Dawson stays back. That puts virtually no pressure on the opponent when you stay back from the net. It's 44 feet baseline to baseline. And if you return serve and stay back, that's a long way that ball's to travel. See if Dawson comes in this time. No, stays back. And then that invites Esquivel to come in, but she doesn't. And so these two happy to bang away with those ground strokes. Both of these women, excellent tennis players. You can see that. Lindsay Newman watching. Lindsay, I'd love your view on that, either here on the stream or if you want to even come into the broadcast booth, is the women who choose to stay back and bang away from the baseline as opposed to what we see both in doubles pickleball and also see more of the guys. Here we see Michelle Esquivel coming in and look at the pressure she applies and then wins the point. So I'd love to know, Lindsay, if you're watching and listening and able to let us know, what do you think? What's the mentality about staying back and grinding away from the baseline instead of taking that invitation to come forward? Say good morning to our good friend California Bill Masucci. Stacy Deacon joining us. If you are just joining us, first thing to do is to hit the share button so other people can enjoy this live coverage from Mesa. Second thing to do is let me know you're watching. Say hi. 2-5. Esquivel. Let's see if she comes in here, takes the invitation. She doesn't. And doesn't need to in that case. It's a chilly morning. If you look, you can see our referee. She's fully decked out in long pants and a hat, hand in a pocket. A lot of us around here. Here comes Esquivel. And look, Michelle Esquivel coming in, this time off of a strong ground stroke. All right, we're going to take a quick break while these players take a hydration break as well. We're going to be back in 1 minute with more from game number 1 here in Mesa.
I got your new paddle.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Could you sign it?
Yeah, I signed all those.
That's not your signature.
That is indeed my signature.
But I did not see you sign it myself, personally.
Okay.
Maybe just a...
And we are back live on Championship Court. Michelle Esquivel serving at 4-5 against Jennifer Dawson. Tough serve. In that case, Dawson's going to stay back just because she can't get in. And look at that. Esquivel comes in and look how well she controls the point here. Great volley. She's got Dawson running all over. And once again, the woman who comes to the net first ends up controlling the point and scoring. This is the final day of competition here at the inaugural PPA event here in Mesa, Arizona. 7-5. I think I misspoke a second ago. Esquivel has a chance to come in. Is she going to take it? That's a deep ball, heavy topspin. I just posted a video that I made a few years ago about the decision-making process about coming up or back off the return of serve. Here we see Esquivel come up, and now she has a chance. She missed the volley, but she's got a chance to win it. Lindsay Newman weighing in. I'll stop talking about myself in my videos to hear from Lindsay anytime. Lindsay says, good morning. I think a lot of the girls tend to stay back because it conserves a little more energy than running to the net on every point. Also, a lot of ex-tennis players are also very comfortable hitting balls from the baseline, just like in their tennis days. Right, so you see here, and again, from the net, Esquivel wins the point. I'm no singles player, but those are my guesses. Yeah, Lindsay, I really agree with you on the second half of what you said. You see those ground strokes, they're so comfortable hitting from the baseline. Though I would argue that grinding away from the net, or from the back of the court, is going to lead to a longer point rather than a shorter one. Once again, the net player wins, Michelle Esquivel. Lindsay, why aren't you on the singles court? You love running around. Maybe we'll get you out there one day. Do a little exhibition match, or that'll be fun. Bet the fans would love that. Great serve. Great serve from Esquivel. That's going to lead to a game point here, 10-6. She's looking to close this out. That ball finds the top of the net. You can see the sun in her face when she's looking that direction. It's a beautiful sunny day here, but a little bit chilly. .610 is the score. Dawson trying to stay alive here in this opening game. Esquivel's return too tough. It's going to be a side out, and Esquivel once again serving to close out game number 1. There we go. Dawson coming in. She gets the ball on her paddle. Not quite enough juice on that return of serve. Michelle Esquivel, nice passing shot, and that's going to be game number 1 that goes to Michelle Esquivel. We are going to be back here, more action live from the Grand Slam Qualifier, Pro Pickleball Association, here in Mesa in just a moment. Welcome back to the show. The live broadcast brought to you by your friends here at Pro Pickleball Media. I'm your host, Mark Renison. Looking on the side court, Frank Anthony Davis, getting ready for his match with some sprints. No, we're good. We just go at your schedule. It's a nice shot from Michelle Esquivel, that passing shot. I just posted a link here. I did an interview with Michelle where we talked about singles pickleball. I love hearing from such an experienced player as she. Wow, what a great deep return of serve. So little that Dawson can do off of that. She's going to have to take that ball on the rise, I think. She's really going to be pinned back. So, of course, not now during the stream, or maybe, shut down my voice if you're getting tired of it. You'd rather hear from Michelle, and you can listen to that podcast, that episode where we talked about singles play. We also played a little game that we like to do on the show called Good Idea, Bad Idea. That is a nice down-the-line pass, but a little too much juice on that ball. It sails just a bit long. Dawson had the angle she wanted, couldn't quite get it, and again, the player at the net, in this case Esquivel, takes the point. $5-0 right now, Michelle. That'd be a great time. Ooh, such a good forehand, Michelle. Dawson has a chance. Look at that. Michelle Esquivel. That's the kind of two-handed backhand we've gotten to know from Miss Esquivel. You can start to see a little bit why Dawson might be hesitant to come forward. Passing shots like that. But again, Esquivel comes in. She's able to put pressure, this time with a drop volley. Wins the point at the net. Again, Esquivel coming to the net. Look at the pressure she's going to apply. Great passing shot from Dawson. Well done. Dawson finding a great angle there to get the ball just out of the reach of Esquivel. She takes over serving. 0-7. She's got some work to do. That's a terrific deep serve. Michelle's probably not going to come in on that, but that shorter third shot she will. There you go. That's 2 bounces. Esquivel wins the point from the net again. Say hi to our friend Lane Sykes, watching from Los Barriles, Baja, Mexico. 7-0, Esquivel looking to continue her control. That ball catches the line. Here we go. Dawson's got a chance. Ball stayed so low, and partly because it's cold early in the morning, that ball didn't sit up quite as high as Dawson would have liked. And to play a down the line ball with that speed, you need that ball to be up a bit higher. 8-0, Esquivel. Michelle Esquivel. Call that 10-0. This looks like it'll be pretty close to the end of the match here. Tough for Dawson to come back down a game in 0-10. And when it rains, it pours for Dawson. That ball catches off the top of the tape. Nothing she can do with that. And that's going to be a 11-6, 11-0 victory for Michelle Esquivel. She's going to move on. We're going to move on as well. We've got more great action. We're going to tell you about it when we come back in a moment after this quick break from Pro Pickleball Media here at the Pro Pickleball Association Grand Slam Qualifier in Mesa, Arizona.
Court 2. So, how did you do?
Won that one. On to the next.
Michelle Esquivel, Court 3. Ben John, Joey Ferrarius, Center Court.
Gotta go.
Lucy Kovalovica.
Good luck.
Irina Irina, court 3.
Pro match coming up here on Championship Court, which we're going to talk about in a moment. In the meantime, let's take a look at the draw. The men's singles draw right now, see where things stand. Let's look at that top quarter first. Alright, we can see here Tyler Loon moving into that second round. Andrews takes down Hearn in 3 games, 11-0 in the third. Wonder what happened there. Daniel Roditi, the pastor, 12-10 in that first game against Pesa Teone, then 11 zip. It's amazing how what can happen. Gotta think that that might have been sort of an emotional loss in that first game, having been so close and then so one-sided. Rob Nunnery, someone to watch here going forward in this tournament. An exciting new player on the scene here. He's into the second round with an 11-4, 11-8 victory. Let's take a look at the next quarter. Johnson and Johns moving on. They're going to face each other. Tyson McGuffin, we saw him earlier against AJ Kohler. Devilliers winning 11-6, 11-2 against the youngster William Sobek. That's going to be an interesting matchup between Devilliers and McGuffin. As we continue on through the draw, Ben Johns, no surprise, moving through against that world number 1 racquetball player that we saw earlier, Jack Huzek. Challenged Johns early on, 11-8, and then 11-0 in the second game. Ben Johns so strong, especially when playing with the lead. Zane Affleck, he moves on to the next round with a tough 12-10 in the third win. Smith takes down Petty in 3 games. And finally, we look at the last quarter. Rafa Hewitt, who we're about to see, he took down Ernesto Fajardo out of Canada. He's now going to play Frank Anthony Davis, and we're going to get to watch that here. Joseph moves forward. I believe that was by a default. And Kyle Yates, no surprise, I think, he takes down Ray, 11-4, 11-7. As we look right now at the players warming up, Frank Anthony Davis in the near court. Frank Anthony Davis, one of the most exciting pickleball players out there, a real singles specialist. No slouch at doubles either, but really prides himself on his singles play. Rafa Hewitt on the other side, the tall lefty out of Idaho. Really exciting player, relatively new on the scene. Great tennis player, started a tennis program at the university where he was their all-time winningest player. If you don't watch a lot of singles, this is going to be a great example. 2 really interesting players out here. We see the lefty Hewitt on the far side. Got a long reach, going to be tough to pass at the net. Frank Anthony Davis, one thing you're going to watch is how fast he is on the court. He gets balls back. I've had a number of epic matches against Frank, and the number of times that I hit balls that I was sure was a clean winner, not only come back, but come back with authority. All right, so as these players finish their warm-up, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with game number 1 here from the PPA Grand Slam Qualifier in Mesa, Arizona, right after this break. We're back live here on Championship Court. Frank Anthony Davis getting ready to serve to Rafa Hewitt. What a great start to the match there. Davis likes it. So what you're going to see here is you're going to see these players typically trying to come in off the return of serve, quite different from what we saw a moment ago. Look at Hewitt use that slice backhand return, and Davis, that is why he is going to run so far over. Interesting to see whether he runs out of room. The bleachers are pretty close here, and Davis, being as fast as he is, he's going to, at every possibility, try to move out wide to his forehand. Gives him more offensive opportunities like we saw there on that inside-out forehand drop. 2-0. Watch him look to use his forehand. Smart play by Hewitt. Davis right now, all cylinders firing here. Hewitt went back to the forehand of Davis, anticipating there might be some open court there since Frank runs around his backhand so much. And this time Hewitt chooses to stay back. Jeez. This is an example of Frank being in the zone right now. He's focused, he's ready. 4-0 out to an early lead. And even with that put away, Frank. Yeah, I think there's going to be a timeout there. We're going to stay with it here. Smart move by Hewitt to take that timeout. He doesn't need a break himself. What he's trying to do is trying to cool off his opponent. If Frank continues to play pickleball like this, he will be a serious contender to take home the gold. We say hi to our friend Tanya Major. She's watching. All right, off to an early 5-0 lead here. 5-0. Davis continues to go to work here, using that forehand, that inside-out angle, and he still got it. Right now, everything is going his way. Balls that could easily go out managed to find the line. 6-0. Davis continues to control the point here. Rafa Hewitt not able to come in. And once again, we see the player at the net wins the point. Hewitt not able to come back come in because of the deep serve. Creates an opportunity for Frank to come in and play that nice volley. That's a great. And at that point, Hewitt has to say, that is the best possible return I can hit. How does the guy hit a clean winner on it? Sometimes there's nothing you can do except hope that your opponent cools off. Davis does his best. Rafa Hewitt finally gets the ball. 0-8 is the score here. Hewitt trying to do something. And even there, Frank Davis, he's all over it. 8-0. With that one serve, Hewitt gives the ball back to Davis. That ball stays in. Say hi to Eric Lang, Lauren Stratman, Simone Jardine. 0-8, you're watching live coverage here at the Pro Pickleball Association Grand Slam Qualifier. Here in beautiful Mesa, Arizona. It's a beautiful day out, freezing cold. Someone who's not freezing cold, though, is Frank Anthony Davis. He's on fire here. We see another great passing shot. The tall Hewitt not able to get the ball back in play. Even that ball, Davis guesses right. That ball manages to stay inside the baseline. Things going Davis's way so far. He's up 10-0 here in game number 1. Rafa Hewitt not sure what's hitting him. And with that, Davis takes game number 1, 11-0 in short order. Gotta think even Frank Anthony Davis not totally sure what's going on here. He's really playing pretty well. And by pretty well, I mean amazingly well. Great job for him. We're going to go to a quick break for a moment. We'll be back with more. See if Frank Anthony Davis can keep it up here in game number 2 for Mesa. 0-0 is the score here in game number 2 of this men's pro singles match here at the Pro Pickleball Association Grand Slam Qualifier in Mesa, Arizona. I'm Mark Renison, and you are watching, I think Lee Featherby here on Facebook put it nicely, you're watching a masterclass in singles play from Frank Anthony Davis. He's playing Rafa Hewitt, who's no slouch of a player at all. But Davis has been on fire, hitting winners from all over the court. And I warned you folks early on that Frank is the kind of player when you think you've done the right thing, all of a sudden he punishes you. And great deep serve. Hewitt not able to get to the net, and gotta try to figure out a way to stop the freight train that is Frank Anthony Davis right now. 1-0. There we go, that side out. Nice winner by Hewitt. Frank Anthony Davis, actually I did talk with him. I'll see if I can put that up for you. Good read by Hewitt, but Davis is able to get there, put it away.
New match in the Senior Pro Division, GS3 Grandstand 3. Dave Whitebach versus Dan Brennan. Whitebach and Brennan, Court GS3 Grandstand 3. Still all 4-0, men's 4-0, 35 plus. James Caston versus Hutchinson. Caston and Hutchinson, your matches at the tournament deck.
I just posted a link there. Chatted with Frank. He really has improved his singles play over the last couple of years. Real contender now. And that's not by accident. He's been very deliberate in what he's been doing to be able to come out here and have the belief not only that he can compete with those players, but that he can defeat them. And so I just posted a link there. You can click on that if you want to listen to it at some point. Frank was very generous with his time. 0-3, and there's a point. That's the first point of the game for Rafa Hewitt. He's on the board.
Second call,
1-3.
Jennifer Dawson, your pro match is waiting on court 15B.
Low return on the backhand side to Hewitt. He's not able to keep the ball low enough to stay in play. 3-1, Davis serving. That's an example of the movement of Davis. Good job by Hewitt to finish off the point with the overhead and to stay in the point. A lot of people in that situation will think that they've got the winner locked up. Davis, however, gets to it. Always makes you play one more ball. 1-3, Hewitt serving to Davis. He had the angle lined up just a bit too low. And again, I'd call that technically it's an unforced error, but the pressure that Davis is putting on at the net is definitely forcing the issue, as is that serve. Hi, Stefan Boyland. Welcome back to the live stream here from the PPA event. Players are going to take a quick hydration break. We're going to take one as well. This is brought to you by Jigsaw Health. It's fun to feel good.
People have this conception that pickleball, that's an old person sport, but I don't think they realize how physically demanding it is with those quick bursts and long, grueling points. The first US Open, I found myself cramping in 2 different events. When you start cramping, it's too late. And when I first started playing, I wasn't ready for that. The biggest difference I feel on the court with Jigsaw products is I'm not cramping at all. It gives you that mental confidence that your body's going to hold up. Jigsaw products will provide a lot of value to you both on and off the court.
And we're back live. If you're just joining us, it's Mark Renison here bringing you live coverage here on Championship Court. Frank Anthony Davis showing us how to play some singles pickleball. It's really been on fire out here today. Rafa Hewitt has not played badly, but Frank Anthony Davis does things like that. You can understand why Frank is climbing up in the ranks as a singles player. 5-1. Nice job by Hewitt there. Wondering whether he was going to play a lob after he drew Davis in. It's going to be very tough to beat him one-on-one in that cat and mouse game, but gotta wonder. Frank is not a tall player, and got to wonder whether he's maybe susceptible to a good offensive lob over the backhand side. Got to expect that it's going to come back, but perhaps it comes back without causing a lot of trouble. 5-1 is the score. Hewitt had a chance there. (6-1), Davis serving. Great deep serve. That's going to keep Hewitt back. Davis will draw him in, and there are the reflexes of Frank. So quick. Lee Featherby on Facebook says he's so light on his feet. Relaxed, yeah. Like a little kitten out there. 7-1. Another great deep serve. Frank has been spending a lot of time training with friend Colin Johns, who we saw along with Adam Stone winning the silver medal yesterday in the men's pro doubles. We talked a little bit about that in our podcast that I posted earlier. Great backhand spinning volley from Davis. Not much Hewitt can do. Frank Anthony Davis showing what first-class pickleball looks like. Let's see if he's aggressive with that first serve again. Not deep enough to keep Hewitt back. Hewitt does a good job of getting to the net, putting pressure on Davis, and finding the open court. Davis is leading right now, 1 game and 9-1. Hewitt's going to try to put some more points on the board here. Loving to get a free point like that, and he's going to have to rely on a few more like that. All right, that's going to be a quick timeout here. We're going to be back in a moment with more here from Center Court, PPA Grand Slam Qualifier. We're all back here on championship court. Rafa Hewitt serving at 2-9 right now, trying to make something happen. He has not played poorly today, but Frank Anthony Davis has done what Frank Anthony Davis does, and that is make his opponent hit one more ball and come up with the kinds of shots and angles that are seemingly impossible. Hewitt comes over, does a little tidying.
New
9-2.
Singles 3-5, 35 and 50 plus. Karen Fox versus Wendy Steiner. Fox and Steiner, your match is waiting at the tournament deck.
That ball in the net, that's going to be a side out. Blair Huff says, I'm in Canada with a bunch of snow on the ground. I'm sure freezing is a relative term. Yeah, I'm going to be going home to Canada tomorrow, Blair. Although earlier on my trip here in Arizona, there were frost warnings. It was below 0 Celsius. That's 32 Fahrenheit for our American friends. In the mornings when I wake up, you're in the desert here, and the days can be hot and nights can be cold. Meanwhile, Hewitt's hoping that Davis cools off a little bit. 2-10. Again, technically an unforced error, but with the coverage that Frank is showing at the net, Hewitt definitely feeling the pressure. That's going to be 10-2, and that's going to set up our first match point here for Mr. Davis. Match point number 1. Solid forehand return of serve from Hewitt. Frank threw in the lob serve just to see if that rhythm change could throw off Hewitt. It didn't. Instead, he lined up a great inside-out forehand. Frank had to scramble, which he is more than happy to do, but Hewitt able to take that point. Nice job from him. 2-10. There's that offensive lob I was suggesting might be effective early. Good overhead and good angle from Frank. I think you got to get over the backhand side of Davis if you want to challenge him a little bit with that lob. Wind has picked up a little bit here. That ball dribbles over the net. Hewitt will take it. Daniela Nis says, hi, Mark. Loving my Selkirk paddle I won from Third Shot Sports. I'm glad you are, Daniela. Just a reminder that Selkirk and Third Shot Sports are both partners here of the PPA. Great backhand drive from Hewitt. 3-10 is the score. Good solid forehand drive off the left side of, what do you say, the Idahoan? The Idahoan? It's probably more correct. Hewitt looking to use that forehand. Ball doesn't make it over the net, and we've got another match point here from Frank Anthony Davis. Look for him to be aggressive with this serve. And he is. That's going to be out. Game and match goes to Frank Anthony Davis. He takes it at 11-0, 11-4. Frank is going to be a contender, I suspect, here in this inaugural PPA event here in Mesa, Arizona, this Grand Slam qualifier. We're going to be back with more live action from center court in just a moment. Be sure to stay tuned.
Slightly favored backhand. Much hand-eye coordination.
Pickleball is very, very different. 8 to 10 matches in one day, and each match could be 45 minutes. Being able to start and go and stop is very, very challenging. When I'm taking Jigsaw Health supplements, I have the confidence to stay out there all day, and I can stay focused, energized, and cramp-free. I wouldn't recommend Jigsaw Health to any of my opponents. You guys continue drinking whatever you're drinking right now.